Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So in today's video, we are going to create the rock, paper, scissors game using Pygame Python. So without further ado, let's get started. So before starting, I want to show you that I have imported the images that I want to use in my game. So here are the images that I'm going to create. So this is the rock, paper, and scissor. So you can find these images. I'll link these images and the code in my GitHub. So you can download the images and you can also check out the entire code from the link I'll provide in the description below. So first I want to import all the libraries. So let me import Pygame and import random and then import time. So the first thing that I want to do is importing these three libraries because Pygame is the main library that we are going to use for creating the games, and it's going to handle all the graphics, sounds, and user inputs. Next, we have the random library, which is used to generate random choices for the computer in rock, paper, scissors game. And then we have import time. This will be used to control the flow of the game, such as adding pauses to create some suspense. So let's go on and initialize Pygame. Next. So initializing Pygame. So this line initializes all the modules in the Pygame. So it must be called before you can use all the Pygame functionalities like creating a window or playing sounds, etc. Next, let's set up the game window. So to set up the game window, here I have the uh, width and the height of the game window set. So these are the variables that I will be using as a constant to set my game window. And then we have something called pygame.display.set mode, which will create the actual game window with the specified width and the height. Here I have specified 800 and 600. Next, I have the set caption method inside the Pygame, which will be like I can give any name that I would like. So rock, paper, scissors is just the window name that I'm specifying. Next, let's initialize the colors that we want to use in our game. So I'm using black, white, red, green, and blue. And I have specified the RGB values of these colors in a tuple. So this will be representing the specific colors and decoded with their RGB values. And here I'll be using these colors to draw shapes and text and other elements used in the game. Next, I want to use the font. So I'll be creating two fonts. One was the large one and the normal font. So I can call a method called sysfont inside the Pygame library, and I have given none. So it takes the default font model art style, and then I give the font size. One has 40, another one is 60. So this is a slightly larger font. Next, I have my images. So these are the images, and I want to load these images into the game. So I want to load images. So I use a load method inside Pygame. So I have first is a rock image. So I use pygame.image.load and specify the file name, rock, paper, and scissors, and I'm storing it into variables. And then let's do scaling. So because these images are in a different scale, so I want to crop, or I want to modify and scale my images based on the windows size I have specified. So to do that, I will be using this scale images. So this method is nothing but it's used to scale my image to 300 cross 300. So I specify the image size here, and I want to pass in my image and the size that I specify. So whatever image you feed in, it will be sized or scaled to 300 cross 300. So I do the same for the three images that I want to use. Next, I have to create function, a custom function that will be used to define and to make it easier to draw the text on the screen. So basically, whichever text I want to display for my screen, I call in this method. So this method has parameters called text, font, color, and x and y positions. So the actual string that you want to display, like you want to uh, display some text message uh, to the players, say you won or you lost or something. So in order to do that, I'll be using this function. So it has a text, so specifying the text value, then the font and the color and x and y coordinates. Then I have image equal to font.render, and this method renders the text into an image called img here, and that can be drawn on the screen. So the string that you want to render, so it you have to pass in this text, and then I have this set to true because this is for anti-aliasing. So it's basically like smoothing the edges of the text to make it look better. And the color, so I can pass the color RGB value that defines the color of the text. Next, I have this image dot get rect. So this method retrieves the rectangle that wraps the image of the rendered text, and center equal to x comma y will center the text that is provided, and it provided by the x and y coordinates. And so this ensures that the text will be positioned based on its center, not on anywhere around, like top on top or the left or the right, the bottom. So it will be in the center. Next, we have this important thing called window.blit method. This blit is basically method that will be used to draw the rendered image onto the game window, and this image is drawn at the specified position. So the image that I got and the position that I want to place the image, so I pass both these parameters into this method. So next, let's move on to the next method where I want to draw a button. So say at the end, I want to show a button to where the user wants to click and replay the game. So this is done using a draw button method. So I have another method called draw button. So this is for drawing the button. So first, uh, I have this parameter called text. So that next we have x and y coordinates, then the width and the height, then the inactive color and active color. So basically what it does is it's going to create a button, display or text over the button. So whenever I hover over the button or click the button, the color is going to change. So initially, let's say it is in blue color. So when I click the button, I want to change it to green. So the inactive color will be the blue color, and when the button is clicked, I want to change the color to green color, say, for example. Next, I have get position. So this get position method is going to retrieve the current position of the mouse cursor on the screen, and it's returned as tuple, as x and y direction coordinates. And it's important to check whether the mouse is over the button. So this returns a tuple, and it's going to get stored into this variable called mouse. And then let's next we have to check if the mouse is over the button. So that is done in this if else statement. So it says if x plus y greater than mouse of index 0 greater than x, and if y plus h greater than mouse of 1, this index 1 greater than y. So here the pi game is going to uh, check this condition. If it's going to say the mouse is over the button, then we have pi game dot draw dot rectangle, so and pass in the window, then active color and all the x and x y w h positions. So here this if condition basically checks if the mouse is within the rectangular boundaries of the button, and if it's within the mouse's x coordinate is within the width of the button, and the y coordinate is within the height of the button. If the mouse is within these bounds, then we draw the active color to highlight it. Otherwise, we draw the button to be in the inactive color. Next, to render the button text, I just want to say replay or restart. So I want something to be written over the button. So to do that, I use the render. So this same thing that we just saw here. So this is going to convert the text into a image form, and it's going to render it. So I pass the text and the anti-aliasing set to true and the color of the text to be black. So I'm choosing the default black here, and then I want to draw and I want to render it over the button. So this what say like text underscore surface dot get rect method retrieves the rectangle that surrounds the text, and this is also used to position this text correctly within the button. Next we have text underscore rect dot center equal to x plus y by 2 comma y plus h by 2. So this centers the text within the button by calculating its midpoint of the button's width and the height. Next we have the same thing called blit. Blit is going to draw the rendered text onto the window at the correct position. So the text I want to pass, and then the position that I have already calculated, which is the center, the midpoint of the button. So I pass both into this method. Next, return if the mouse is hovering. So return, basically this returns a boolean value, say false or true, indicating whether the mouse is currently hovering over the button. So if you use this in your game logic to detect if the player is interacting with the button, such as clicking on it. Next, let's go on to write our game loop. So first, define game loop. Next, here, so this uh, game loop is a function where it's going to be the code logic where I want to code my rock paper scissors game, and this is where I call all the methods, and it handles all the user inputs, updating the game states and drawing the graphics and checking the conditions such as players and computer's choice. So for that, first I want to initialize the variables. So I use certain variables like to track the player and computer's state. So first is player choice, then I choose it to be none, and I have the computer's choice is also set to none. Next I have result set to none. Then I update the player score in a variable and I set that to 0, and then computer's score is also set to 0, and then round in progress set to false. So basically I use these two variables called player choice and computer choice to basically store the players and the computer's choice, and initially they are all set to none because no choice has been made at the start of the game. And then result is also basically it stores the result of each round. So who wins or loses, or it's like a draw game. And then I have the choices. I have also set this to none, and then I have these two variables called player score and computer score. It will be always 0. Next, I have round in progress. So this is a boolean flag which I'll be using to check if a round is currently in progress, and I want to basically set this to false initially, meaning no round is being played at the start. Next, I want to set up animation variables. So I'll be running certain animations for the images. So I have animation underscore images equal to, so I pass my rock image, paper image, and the scissors image. And then I have to have animation underscore index equal to 0. And then last animation time, set time dot time function. So here I first list out the images that I want to animate, stored in a list, and then so these images will be cycled through to create animation effect during the game. And then I have an animation index. So this variable basically tracks the current image being displayed in the animation. And then so this variable is like it starts with 0, which is corresponding to the first image, which is the rock image. And then I have this last animation time is this captures the current time when the game loop starts, and it's used to control how fast the animation changes between the images, so there is no abrupt change. Next, I have something called uh, click handled. So this variable is, so I want to use as a boolean. So this is going to handle the mouse clicks. So this acts as a flag which ensures that the mouse clicks are handled only once per event, to avoid any multiple triggerings for the same click. Next, I have to go on with the main game loop. So running equal to true. Next, I have while running the current time equal to time dot time, and then mouse clicked equal to false. And let's go to check the event. For event in pygame dot event dot get, if event dot type equal to pygame dot quit, then set running equal to false, else if event dot type equal to pygame dot mouse button down, and event dot button equal to 1, set mouse click to true, and then window dot fill set to white. So let me explain the game loop. So first I have the running set to true. So this while loop is the main loop for the game, and it continuously runs as long as running is true. So inside this loop, all the game logic and event handling and rendering will take place. So first thing I want to do is current time. So the checking for the current time and mouse events. So current time is what captures the current time at the beginning of each loop iteration, and it will be used later be used for timing processes such as controlling the speed of animations or game updates. Then I have mouse clicked flag set, and this will track if the player has clicked the mouse. Initially this will be set to false at the start of each iteration. Next, we have event handling. So for this one, this is a loop which is going to iterate over all the events in the game. So Pygame will actually detect events such as key presses or mouse clicks and window close actions, and this loop processes those events. So I have a such event like if event.type is equal to pygame.quit. So this event occurs when the player closes the game window. So if it's detected, the running variable is set to false. Next, we'll have if event.type is equal to mouse button and event.button equal to 1. So this event detects if the left mouse button has been clicked. If a click is detected, it sets the mouse clicked to true, which will be later used to be handle the player's choice. And then finally we clear the window by setting window.fill as white. So this clears the game window by filling it with the white color, and it ensures that the new frame is drawn on the blank canvas, removing any remnants of the previous frame. Now let's move on to draw buttons and handle some choices. This I want to start by, if not round in progress, then I would like to animate the images in the center. So for that I have if current time minus the last animation time greater than equal to 1, then animation index equal to animation index plus 1, and modulo 3 last animation time equal to current time. So this block basically, if not round in progress, so this block only executes if no round is currently active, meaning the player has not yet made any choice. It ensures that the buttons are displayed and the player can make a selection. So here I have if current time minus last time greater than equal to 1, then I have to set the animation index and the last animation time. So this section basically controls the animation of the images in the center of the screen. So every 1 second, the displayed image changes. So the animation index is updated cyclically to display the next image from the animation images that I have. And next, last animation time is updated to ensure the animation changes only once every second. And then let's move on to create the animation rectangle underscore rect equal to animation images, pass in animation index dot get underscore rect, and then Here I have to center it in the width, say center. Next I have to draw the animation, so I use split method to do that. So here I'm displaying the animated image. So this will get the gets the current image, either it's a rock image, paper or scissor, from the animation list using the index, and then it centers the position in the way that it's in the middle, and then with this position I call the blit method and pass in the animation image with the current index and the position that I want to place. Next I have to next I'm going to draw buttons, so I'll be having three buttons for a rock, paper and scissor. So these lines are basically to create the three buttons for players option. So each button is placed at a different position on the screen. So their x, y coordinates are different, and the color changes when the player hovers over the button, and also from inactive color to the active color. So the rock hover is nothing, paper hover and scissor hover store the boolean values if the mouse is hovering over the respective buttons. Next I'm going to check the uh, event handling. So what are the mouse handlings that will be used here? So for that I have an if else loop. So here this loop or this block is going to check if the player has clicked mouse. So mouse clicked is true, and whether not clicked handle. So whether the click has already been handled. If true, then it enters into this if statement, checks if rock hover. If the player is hovering over the rock button and clicks it, then the respective choice is made. So it's going to be rock. So we set the player's choice that I have set from none to rock, and then we set round in progress to true. Similarly, we do the same for paper and scissors. Next, I have an if condition where I'll be generating the computer's choice. For that, I have if round in progress. So if round in progress, computer choice is to choose randomly between rock, paper and scissors. So I use a random library to do that, and also see that click handle is set to true. Next, I will be determining the result. So for that, I use if player choice equal to computer's choice, then result is set to it's a tie, and then else if I have to check if your choice is different from the computer's choice, then I want to make sure that you win, set the result to win, and the player score will be will be added 10 points to the score. And then if else the computer's choice wins, then I'm going to print say computer wins and update the computer's score to 10. Next I'm going to have a method which is going to check if the checking each round in progress. So I have to go to this if round in progress, make sure the indentation is correct. So here I'll be making sure we display the choices. So display choices and results. So here I have if round in progress is true. So basically this block only runs if the player has already made a choice and the round is currently active. So it displays both the player's and the computer's choice and the result of the round and the button to start the next round. So first we have to display the player's choice. So let's display the player's choice. So here I say player image equal to rock image if player choice equal to rock, else paper image if player choice is equal to paper, else it's scissor image. So depending on the player choice, the appropriate image is selected, and I have a get rect method. So this positions the player's choice on the left side of the screen, and it's vertically centered. So height is set to divided by 2, so it's vertically centered in the left side. And I use same method called blit to draw the image on the window. So the image is passed and the position called player rect is also passed to this method. Finally, I want to display the computer's choice. So similarly, I use computer's choice. So I also do the same for computer choice. I have computer image. So check if a rock image or if it is paper image or scissor image. Then I set the computer's choice to be on the right side and center. So I set center with -200 and height is vertically centered. Then I draw the computer image using the blit method. And finally I call in the draw text method. So this draw text method is going to um, call the method that I created previously, so to display the result. So I'll be calling this method. If you can recap here, so I will be passing in the text, font, color, x and y position. So the result, large font I want to use, black in color, width and the x and y coordinates. Next I want to draw the button. So in order to draw the button, I just so for that, before that I want to draw the next round button. So the next round button is created here. So the next round button is going to so let me denote it as draw next round button. So the next round button is drawn near the bottom of the screen, and the colors change based on whether the mouse is hovering over the button. So the position is here as 500, 300 and 500 places the button in the center horizontally, and the hover effect is handled by the transition colors. So this is the inactive color 200, 200, 200, and the active color is 150, 150, 150. Next, I'll be handling the next round click button. So for that, I want to create an if statement. Say if next round hover and mouse clicked and not click handled, if all these are true, then the player's choice is updated to none. Computer choice is also set to none. Result set to none. Round round in progress is set to false, and finally click handle is set to true. So this is basically if a player clicks the next round button, then we want to go and reset all these values that I have to make sure that I reset it. Finally, I have to display the scores. So to do that, So display scores, I use the same method draw text which I created earlier, and I display the score of the player by using the player score variable where I'll be storing the player's scores, font, the normal font, black in color, X and Y position. Similarly, I want to do the same for my computer. I use the same method, pass the computer score that I want to display. Next, I have to update the Pygame display. So that's done using Pygame our display update. And finally, if not mouse is clicked, then the click handle is set to false. So basically, once I update the display here, this method will update the game window with all the new changes, such as the computers and players' choices, results, scores, and buttons. And after that, I have a mouse handling. So whenever I say this is going to ensure that after the mouse is clicked and released, the click handle flag is reset to false. So this allows future clicks to be processed in the next loop iteration. Finally, I exit the Pygame using pygame.quit method and end the game loop by calling this. Now let's run the program. Click terminal, new terminal, and you can just use Python 3 main py. So this is our game window, and we could see the window size and the title that I have set. Now it shows the different animation. So rock, paper, scissors. So I display the player score on the left side and the computer score on the right side, and have three options. So this is my rock, paper, scissors button. So when I can click rock, so it's a tie. So the scores are not updated. So it's 0 for both. So next round. So I click paper and the computer is randomly selecting scissors. So computer wins. Let me again choose rock. Computer wins. Scissor. Okay, again computer wins. Okay, now the computer has selected rock and I've selected paper. So I win. Again computer wins. Computer wins. I win. I win. I win. Okay, so that's all. So thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. So I'll see you in a next video with more interesting tutorials on Pygame. Thank you.